Troy, how you doing?
Cool. Yeah. Troy, are you on I know you're on GPT. Did you get the link for the RSIC to get our AI?
Not yet. I haven't gotten that far. Say,
Oh, okay. Okay.
I
I'll
had
get you.
a rather busy week last week, and I'm hoping tomorrow I'll have a little bit of respite to catch up a little bit.
That's cool. Then I'll get that for you. If you need any help, there's the activation playbook, which is in files tab. I can get it yeah, I think I got it for you already.
Yeah, I
And then,
saw that.
yeah, and Philip's on, and I think Willie and Kenny are coming on tonight. So we may have four of you guys that are at least, and all you guys pretty much have been in the group for a while. So I think we get a lot of done. I just put recording on. Um,
Okay. I did have another question.
yeah.
What if I just start slinging people at reindeer? See, say at least the ones I think are going to be reasonable, you know, and actually use it, not just look at it and go, ooh, and then
No,
walk
no,
off.
and so we got the ambassador program, and I have to tell Philip about it too, because Phil, you've been in for like over a year in the associates group. So
Hey,
I want to make sure. So I need to get the ambassador program to you guys, and I'll do that. I can go over it a little bit on the screen, and then so basically, we have three tiers. We have a couple more than that on the Patreon. One is a starter tier. It's actually I got a lot of resources there, but it doesn't have the AI. If they want the AI, they could, and they just they're kind of like they want to check it out. I have the $9 a month version. They still got to get the GPT, and they should get the business account because it offers a lot more. They also lock down all the information. People can't train on their AI, and they can add users. So if you get like a husband and wife, you get business partners. But the $20 personal for them for anybody will work. I have to upgrade to the business account because I got to put Jesse and a couple other people on it, my business partners and all that. But with the ambassador program, there's two ways to do it. One, I can give you guys like up to 25 at a time, just to, I give you 100, 200, but I give you 25 at a time. They go into the free. If they for free, they get 12 months through on just the free. If it doesn't come with the AI, if they want the AI, they can upgrade to the 9 or the 79, or they can get the lifetime at 199 or 399. If they get anything, I'll split it with you guys 50-50. And when I set up the Patreon links, it has your name. So I send it to you so it will track who, your people. And then I can show, here I can run a report on Patreon and say, hey, you had this many people upgrade. If they get the lifetime at $399, dude, you guys, it's $194. So you can do that too. I mean, like I said, my goal, I think I can get it. I think the sky's the limit with what's going on. I mean, so far that everybody likes it. I mean, Willie says it's addictive. Like he's spending a lot of time. Like he's like really good. I mean,
that's
Philip, yeah, just says what
Yeah,
he.
that's usually what happens when you learn or start to learn AI. Just like when the internet first broke out, everybody was addicted to it. The same thing with AI.
Yeah, and I think that's what I think. I think that's when we got the tools, and
Yeah.
people start using it, and and then they can narrow it down once they know what tools they need for their business. The nice thing is, like I said, I'm building enough that people can do any asset class, any strategy, anything. And if they need something, it's there. They don't have to go find it. They don't have to go find a guru or a program to get it. And I think at the price point, we should easily get. I mean, it's
Yeah, I
ridiculous.
think I'm thinking this is wonderful. I mean, once you said AI and I went through all the prompting and everything, so yeah, this is definitely it right here, especially because
uh,
I've kind of been accustomed to it for the last, I'd say since February or March or something like that.
Yeah, because I was just on the free version for like a year and I liked it, and I was like, and then I got the paid version just so I could go build the ecosystem, and I
Yeah.
was gonna do 7 components, and I was gonna get 4 up this year by the end of the year, do beta testing, try to recruit maybe 100, 200 people that were outside the group, and then go live 100% on January 1st. I ended up building it. I'm going to easily have 1,500 hours in it by the end of the year. Trying to get everything built, and then when you guys need stuff like on these sessions, because we'll keep doing these sessions, so you guys can work on your stuff when like we could do a group thing. And the cool thing is I can work in whoever's on my ops team, which are people that I'll put on my account. Like we can build the bigger picture stuff for you guys while you guys are working on your deals. We want to do those live sessions. Not everybody has to come, but I think right now we got like 7 people in the group that are on it that have gotten on it, and I think honestly, I'm starting to get a lot of feedback from people outside the group, and I'm like, this gets out there, people can do everything. We still got to tighten up on some lead generation stuff, and we still got to tighten up on the rehab pricing since it's so reasonable.
Yeah. I
And
think once you get it, get that lead funnel really dialed in,
yeah,
um,
we can work on that a little bit right
yeah,
now. Yeah, let's go ahead and start it, and then we can talk while we work on it, and I'll
yeah,
try to show you guys some.
The two things I'm
Yeah, go ahead and keep
after,
talking.
one is I'm thinking about, because I do so many Zooms and interact with so many people virtually,
Yeah,
is basically putting a little emblem up there is ask me about reindeer.
yeah, or an RSIC, and all that. I'll put a
Yeah,
thing together for
something
you.
like that.
Yeah,
But
I'll put some
the
stuff
other,
together. And then when you do on board, Troy, then remind me too, so I can make sure that you're on board. And I know Philip is, and Kenny and Willie. I think they're both coming on, which will be good because having a couple of people on. But yeah, give me that, and I'll give you the resources for that. So
and then
then,
the other thing, because of
yeah,
what I'm currently doing, I have
yeah.
a little more respect for what you have gone through doing this. Because I'm currently going through ChatGPT on my personal side, setting up automations to get things done.
yeah.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah, that's cool. And then, like I said, if you decide you want to go with get the plus account, you get the personal or the business, then you're going to be ahead of the game. Plus, you'll immediately be able to prompt in and get onboarded. So, like I said, I know Philip, you're already onboarded, so I was going to go over this tonight, but
Oh,
since you're already onboarded, I know Willie and them are, but yeah, then Troy, I can go through all this since you guys already got this. But here's the tool catalog. So I'm building some more stuff today. I'm going to be building stuff all week. I've got a bunch of stuff and so a lot of these tools are just things you can ask for the tools catalog and it'll bring up all these things. So you may not need them. And then it's going to categorize them. Eventually, be like 100 different things, and you can just go out and like this deal zone desirability score. We kind of threw that one together. And so some of the stuff there's going to be more stuff that you use, maybe 10 or 12 of them, like lead generation, skip tracing, the overnight deal engine, offer generator, lender matching, and then it goes to the closing engine, which basically gets into transaction coordination and title and all that stuff. Those are
so
pretty much the
will
first the six. The
will
idea,
this actually so we put a deal in, does this actually go out to various lenders
so
directly,
so
underwriting and so forth, or what?
it'll actually when you can put up to 10 deals in the overnight deal generator and there's 12
Oh,
inputs, I can bring that up. So you put those in and by the morning, and basically let me see if I can get it to come up real quick because I was going to go over some of the stuff. I'll just have to come back to this.
and I don't want to get you out of sync or out of
No, 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 because I put this together for people who don't have whoever already on here.
okay.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I'll come back to it. I'll just know that if I get new people that are brand new, I mean, Willie doesn't need this stuff, and neither does Kenny when he comes on. Kenny's just getting home now, and he's going to log on.
Okay.
Uh, so the 12 inputs for the overnight the deal engine. So you can prompt it to just ask for the overnight deal engine,
Okay.
and yeah, then it'll come up.
Yeah, that's good to know. So will they spell out their when we do put something in and it gives us output, are they going to go over the terms and how much each of us will get for that deal that we're sending them, or how does that work?
So if you're a lender, you can embed like we can embed and I can work with you on that too. You can put in your parameters, what your requirements are for submission. Now, right now, it can't send anything to anybody. And they do that
Okay.
for security reasons. It's going to do 90% of your work. The only thing it's not going to do is push send. In some
Okay.
cases, you got to copy and paste into your email or something like that. Like I just sent something to my sister and it generated, and I had to go. She works for Intel at corporate headquarters, and I had to go to my Gmail because she doesn't, I don't send her on my business stuff. And
Yeah.
so, but yeah, I mean, it wrote an email for her, to her,
Okay.
and you still have to go do that, but it
Okay.
probably does 90% of it. It's not, it will work. So when you get to lender match, if you're a lender, you'll be in there. We can embed you. So you have a tile. A tile just looks like a visual, just like what I've been posting. And
Okay.
so a tile will basically have you and it'll have your contact information. And then you put your terms in there. So when somebody comes into the overnight deal engine, which you see right here, the inputs, you can pretty much already figure out what it is, if there's square footage. And you can add things like, you don't need like better, on a commercial deal, you probably don't need bedrooms and bathrooms, but you get air. It's the same stuff everybody asks, repair estimate.
Okay.
So you can ask for these 12 inputs, and then if you need to put more stuff in there, you can, here's what do you want? Do you want it to run comps, structure offers, find lenders? So they can they go to lender match. So after they put these deals in, and you could probably do more deals. I think the one issue we've had, because there's glitches, and I'm trying to tell you what the glitches are. The one glitch is that it was like we did one night for Kenny, we did another one for Willie, and did one for Laura on the same night, and it got all the things right, but it put the addresses and the subjects wrong. Like it just mix and match. So you kind of got to be careful if you're putting a lot of clients in there. You'll probably have
Okay.
to. It'll probably take you a few sessions to finally to kind of tweak everything. Not everything's going to happen all in the
Yeah.
first session. You're teaching
Yeah.
it. You're training it. It's going to output what you input. There's a whole thing that I had prepared in the beginning talking about input. It becomes more intelligent. It becomes more responsive, and
Mhm.
everything's added to the vault. So I have a vault now. They can't see, nobody but me, myself, and like my ops team, like Jesse's my partner and stuff, can see the entire deal. But if you put like everything that you do will go into the vault, all your deals and stuff, all those numbers go in there, and when it becomes repetitive, it's going to build up that memory, like that muscle, almost like muscle memory. It's going to
Yeah.
remember all
Yeah.
that. So you get into this and you can add these. So you can then bundle everything. You don't really want. It'll ask me about here's Kenny. It'll ask me about slides, but I'll usually do one pagers. I'll save in Word and PDF. It'll save in Excel, things like that. So you can put all this information in. Hey Kenny, what's up? Make sure you can try to get you unmuted too. Go ahead,
So,
Kenny. Yeah.
Hey
so
guys,
what,
Hey.
oh, so walk me through this, Nate. So once, let's say what's a typical scenario? I'm sitting down with a client. What is a typical scenario of me using the RC or the RC
Yeah.
platform to input all my information?
Well, you're going to want to get it now that you're on there. And same
Yeah.
for Kenny. And Willie's already probably ahead of you guys because he's been on for 2 weeks now. But you want to embed, you want to basically go in there and ask real quick. Let me put this in there. Let me try to get this so I can try to answer to have it answer you
Okay.
while I answer because that's the best way to learn it. For people who are new, how can they embed and build their buy box? There's used still, even though like lenders usually don't have a buy box, but I'm just gonna kind of standardize that just so we have the
Okay.
standard, especially when we're starting out and markets. So you want to put your markets. So like, well, Kenny's on now. Kenny's in Waco. So he would want to put his Waco and the counties, maybe the areas around Waco, Killeen and stuff that he works in. So you want to embed, then you establish your market and you build your buy box. So you're already on this, you want to use, this link and you've got your GPT-4 access. Once you get your access, you're all good. So then you want
Okay.
to come in here and you want to do, put your primary market in there, put city, county. You want to put as much as you can, city, county, zip codes are mostly in counties are mostly important because right now I've got an overnight project. It's been going for a couple of weeks. I check in every day to add all 3,144 counties in the United States now. I'll explain that later, but you want to make sure you put your markets in. If you're national, Philip, like you are, and I know Troy does a lot of connecting too, then you obviously can put in, your national, what connector, private money broker, everything that you're doing, you want to make sure you're put in. Now, it may not, like I said earlier, it may not the first night be 100%. You got to do it. You got to build some memory. So you got to do probably a few sessions where it gets to know you. So this is what you're going to do is you want to lock in your markets and it'll start storing the context for targeting, skip tracing, lender matching, and all that. Just like
Mhm.
then you want to buy your buy box. So then you want to go in here and with them or with you, if you're doing, if you've got clients, you can also put your clients in here. There's actually a process you can ask for basically the how to input people. Like Willie was putting some of his lenders in. You can do it two ways. You can add it to the vault, which you can just ask to put in the vault, or you could actually do a Google Doc, which it'll help you set up. It'll give you all the thing. But like I said earlier, like email, it'll give you all the structure. You go to Google Docs, Google Forms, and you make it. It can take like 10 minutes. It tells you how to do it, how to shorten the URL. You come back in, you just you click on the to share the Google form URL and just put it here in the prompt bar, and
So I'm using this as a kind of a tool to input all my clients and or lenders.
yeah, you can do that manually, or you can even if you have a list already, you can actually do that. So it's either
Okay.
or. Because on that 12,000 lender databases that I had, all the 7 databases, actually 9 with lenders, I entered all those databases using this plus tool here for add photos
Okay.
and files, and it basically went through. I gave it parameters. It took over 12,000 basically entries. They're all contacts. It's not firms. There's like 7 or 8. There could be some firms with 7 or 8 people in that database. But I basically inputted that. Then I asked it to break it down into who does real estate, and it came up with 901 hard money lenders and other, real estate lenders. And then it came up with 1,762 funding sources. Those are hedge
Okay.
funds and family offices. That's where a lot of the lender match comes from now, because we're trying to get our lenders and people like you and Troy and some other lenders. Willie does a lot of connecting as well. Trying to put you guys in here and get your people in there, because when they come up after they go through the overnight deal engine, like this is how you embed. You get all your stuff in here. You can, it says here, you auto match them to buyer types. You can filter. You're basically putting all this information there for offer generator and lender match. So at the end of like overnight deal engine, when it comes up, it'll actually come up with your terms. It'll ask you if you want the 3 option offer. It gives you cash. It gives you 2 other scenarios for like people who want to maybe get a couple different strategies, because maybe it'll come back and say maybe this is too tight, but if you do this strategy, it'll work. It gives them the choice of doing that. Then you can ask, okay, what 5 lenders can do this deal in Waco? You know, and I don't know which zip code you
Okay.
use, Waco. It'll come up with those 5 lenders off that database. Now, has lenders and more people in bed, they'll actually come up too. They'll actually come
Seven
up and
six
then,
seven one two is one you
yeah.
can use.
Well, I'm probably not gonna
Yeah.
use it. I'm just
Okay.
off the top of my head. You put in city, you want to put city, state, county, and zip code just to get it more dialed in.
But
So
I'm going to have to input those lenders myself, correct?
unless you already have a list that you can just import through the plus,
Okay. All right. I see what you're saying.
yeah. Otherwise, you can, I can ask real quick. Hey, so if someone has lenders they use now, how can they embed them? I'll put input and embed. I put embed. I like the term embedding because that means people become part of the system.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Here's Wooly. That's good. All you guys are on. Wooly's been on it for a couple weeks. So yeah, it's actually good because all you guys pretty much do the same thing. Well, Kenny, hey Kenny, here's 3 guys here who can help you get your deals done. By the way,
Oh, well, that's nice to know. Hi, guys.
Philip, and you've probably never met Philip. You've probably met Troy a couple sessions, and of course you know Willie.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Well, it's nice. It's nice to know you guys because I
they're
got
all
some
in
deals I got to
associates.
get done. So
Yeah. So this is right now how you embed your stuff, Philip. Same as you,
Okay.
Willie. Same as everybody. And like Kenny, if you got other people you want to embed it, you pretty much do it the same way. The lender intake prompt, and you can ask for this. You can ask, just write down lender. I know it's a lot of prompts right now, but you can ask it. And if you ask it, even if you just put in plain English, the worst it's going to do is come up with the actual prompt and tell you this is the prompt to use. Then you can copy and paste it. It'll give you the use case. It'll explain the prompt. So
Mm-hmm.
so you can learn it until you get it. But use a lender intake prompt. I have a lender I already work with, and then it'll tell you how to do it. They'll put your lender in, put all their contact information, what loans all their terms, funding areas, so they're statewide or they're like national. You can put in all that information.
No,
And
that's good because what I'm thinking of, just kind of off the top of my head, is I would go to those sources and get their their whatever their loan parameters are
Yeah.
and upload them to memory. So
Yeah.
let's say if I have all 5 lenders, whether it's DSCR, conventional, regular conventional, or whatever, or hard money lenders, and they should have either some sort of
You can actually, because you can do this, and you can actually copy this and give it to them
yeah,
on top.
yeah, and I would
And
so if I have their PDF file of all their products and services, that's what I would end up doing is
yeah. And now
importing it into
if you have the business account, which is the one for 25 instead of 20, you can
okay.
actually lock that information down. But if you want to help, overall the group, you can tell them, hey, there's an advantage because you have a lot more people that are going to be using this. So it helps them. So you kind of want to ask them, unless you just really want to lock something down. That's just your research. If you got something exclusive or something that's really good on your, don't, I'm pretty
No,
much telling
so
people,
what do you mean by that? I'm just trying
well,
to
let's say
understand.
maybe you've got a personal, like a private lender or something that you work with
Got
all
it.
the time and you don't, but most of the time, like I was saying when we first started, and I think Willie started to figure this out. I know, Troy and Kenny have been on a few sessions now. Like I was saying earlier, all the input, all the users, all the deals that get submitted basically are making this more intelligent, more
Mm-hmm.
responsive. So it's rinse and repeat. It's repetitive. The more the stuff that's
Yeah.
put in, the better. But if you want to set, the only way you can lock it down and like protect it, if it's just something you want to absolutely protect, then they require the business account. I'll bring that up and show you what the benefits are. You can do
Hey,
the ver-
Nate, I
yeah,
looking, not to interrupt you, but looking at that business account, it's a
yeah,
minimum 2 users.
yeah. That's why I'm not doing it till August, because I got to put Jesse on.
Okay.
So I'm
So,
doing mine August 9th, which is my next renewal on
so what's the
October.
difference? So if it's like individual like us, I mean, obviously we don't have a second user. We don't want to pay $60 a
I
month
didn't know
or
that it was.
70
I
bucks a
didn't. I
month.
didn't read that it was. I know that you can put more users on.
Yeah, it's minimum 2. So when you go to business to upgrade, it says minimum 2 because I'm doing it now.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between that one and the plus for the personal?
Well, plus on personal and business because they're both plus. The personal. I mean, the biggest changes in the business account, like I was just telling Philip, is you can lock down your information where people don't. People
So
can't
it's more
train on.
private, more privacy, more
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
get
Let me just
Okay.
put that in real
So
quick.
does that mean you got to pay the $60 a month even though you don't have or $70 a
It's
month, but you don't have a second user?
it's not 70 a month.
Well, I mean, I went in to go do it. It says 35 a month, minimum 2.
for
Let's see.
just for
I
2 or
want to see.
35
No.
each.
It says get team, and then it says monthly.
No, don't do team. I don't think you do team. Here it goes. You may have clicked on the wrong thing. I know there's some teams. Here you go, right from because I'm going as 25 a month for me, and I'm adding like a couple more people. This is personal. So
Yeah, that's
GPT
what I'm
40,
asking.
which
Which
you
one
see
do I do?
right now. I mean, you can get away with personal. I can't. I have to upgrade. But here it says 25 to 30 per users, up to 5 team members. So it has private data, no training on your inputs or team chats. Memory and files can be shared across your team. Better for working, if you got
Now, let
assistant
me ask you a
VA.
question. Would it be more advantageous to open up an associates one to where we literally could add team members and we have to pay our share?
Well, then it's like, what do I? Because if we have a lot of people and people don't pay their monthly
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
Yeah,
whatever,
then you're hooked with it. Yeah.
I'm
But
trying to avoid that in a way because there's some things that I've thought about doing that I would have that. Like I was going to do a bunch like that and say, hey, if you bought the yearly, then I could take a pool and do that. It'd be easier if people did it annually and everybody had a certain date to pay in.
so basically for me, right now the personal is pretty much the only option unless I want to pay 60 a month.
Well, let's see if it comes up real quick. Here's my, so if I'm in the personal right now, which is 20
Yeah.
a month.
Mm-hmm.
There's Jesse actually coming out, which is good timing. So right now, 25 USD per month at
Mm-hmm.
Team Workspace. Yeah, I would charge you more money. So
But
everything
you
in
have up to
plus.
5 people on that one, correct?
I don't. I see. This is
So if
first
you
two
click
plus.
add team workspace, it will probably say minimum 2.
Well, I'm not gonna click on it yet. I'm kind of showing you guys what it
Yeah,
is.
see, for 2 users plus
Yeah,
at the bottom.
yeah. Unless they change this, I was on it last week. Let me see what it says. Because it was $5.
See, and then when you go to billing, see right there, it says 60 or
Oh
150.
wait, yeah. Let me go back to this because
So you get on to 2 and it gives you the, and I clicked on your link that you put in the,
yeah. Might give me 1 second because I want to see if that also is personal. Because I have to check on this because the other day it was 20 and 25. Oh, it's because it's billed annually.
well, yeah, but you can go into add and it gives you the option for monthly,
Yeah,
but it's still going to be minimum 2 on business.
yeah, yeah. I mean, that's what I think is minimum 2.
Okay. So, I mean, if I don't have 2,
Yeah, I mean, I've been
You're just
doing
not going
personal.
to get the bells and whistles as you would
Yeah,
on a $20 one. But
yeah. And the reason that I have to do, well, Jesse's on right now, and he's my business partner with Kevin. I
yeah,
mean, with Paul. So, I mean, we gotta have it for us because I mean, obviously, I'm doing so much stuff that I gotta. I
yeah, but
exactly.
can't have
I mean,
I've
but
got so
for
much.
us at our deals, is it really going to make that much of a?
No, no, but I mean, you start. Yeah, no, I'm just recommending it. I'm just saying if people want to lock some people want to lock their deals down
Well, I
more
would love to
often.
lock mine down. I just don't want to drop $60 a month. And
Well, I didn't know it was $60 a month. I mean, I'll check on that again. I'll follow up again on it. Let me follow up on why I don't have you guys on here because I was worried about when I stop off ramping. That's what I call off ramping when I go to these when
And
I
I
go
think
back.
depending on how many deals are you're getting and you're flowing to your business.
well, yeah, you can offset it, obviously. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean,
But,
60
but
dollars,
if, yeah.
60 bucks is going to be chump change.
Oh, yeah, true. But
Yeah.
if you're in, if you're in a dry or stagnant at the
Oh yeah,
moment,
no, I understand.
yeah.
I understand.
Yeah, I'll do one pager. I'll just have this and then I'll print it out. I'll send it to everybody.
Yeah,
Because that's a better.
I'm not trying to argue anything. I just,
No, 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 no.
I'm trying to
Because I
figure
mean,
out
because when
what to pick.
because last week it actually had $5 per additional user per month, and I was like, so if it goes to 25 to 30 to 2 users or
Yeah. And
whatever,
that's
they could have changed it because they're up. I mean, you guys see Sora, so you get Sora if you have the business account. Right now they only do 30 seconds, so it's not really a huge seller point. When they get up to 60 seconds on Sora 4K video, that's enough for me to make a YouTube short video. If it can make my
Yeah.
YouTube short video here, because I use Pictory for all my videos, but it doesn't. It sucks to. Dude, it's a lot of work to go through to make a 60-second video. I'm used to making like 10 minutes videos on there. So
Okay.
if I'm in it, Store is awesome. I've seen the sample of it. But it actually sent me to a third party company that can make like 30 seconds, which was awesome too. They're all in beta because it's such a new technology. Like here's the prompt assistant you guys are on right now. This is my training one for me
Yeah.
to actually go and check it. But yeah, that's what I have access. So I save that as a PDF. I'll send that out to you guys afterwards. Because like I said, personal plus good starter kit is what it's saying, 25 to 30. You got power users. Enterprise, see, enterprise might be, you might have even clicked on enterprise by accident. So I'll figure that out
Yeah.
and get it. Right now, just do personal because I don't think it's like nobody's really gonna. It's kind of like what's the other account that I was talking about? There's something that nobody's ever gonna use. Oh, Airtable. Airtable's free for what most of you guys are using it will be using it for. It's only going to cost you money if you get over a certain amount. You get like 100 bases in Airtable. A base is like a project. It's like also like Company Cam, which is I use for rehab. I've been talking about it. You get a Company Cam account. You can take all the pictures you want. You can organize them. You know, I was using it in construction 8, 9 years ago. I take like 100, 200 pictures on for a restoration because I got to send it to the insurance company for my clients. So here I could actually import them because that visual thing that I made will basically go in and visual property inspection will go in and I can actually tell it can tell you that it suspects there's mold or cracks or code issues. Nothing, it won't be like where anybody would accept it as certified that way, but it'd be nice if you go see a house or something and all of a sudden you got a whole bunch of issues you didn't know about. you haven't bought the house yet. There's some due diligence right there.
Hmm.
Let me know if you want a visual for that. So like I said, I'm not gonna do the visual because it's gonna suck. But yeah. Hey Jesse, what's up? I saw you. Let's log on. Oh, he may have already. There he is. Cool. So yeah, that's kind of the question there. But getting back to some of this, it's like it talks about personal plan and team plan. Protects data. You got better collaborate. If you got a team, if you got a VA, or if you got, I have to do it, and I'm doing it August 9th, which is my next payment. Because I got to add Jesse to it, and I got to add Paul, who's my other partner, who's the CFO. Paul will probably, you guys will probably never meet him, but when we do revenue share, he'll be the guy paying you guys. And then you get an enterprise. I mean, if we get really big on, like where I have to have a big team because I'm going to have an ops team. If we start getting 1,000, 2,000, because I think with a $9 plan, and once word gets out, everything you can do, we're gonna have a lot of people on this. And
Yeah,
at that point, I might have to have 25 or 30 people on my ops team, and a lot of them are going to be you, a lot of other people in the group, and then some people may be able to. You want to keep your account because you got to keep everything you built. That's the beauty of this is you got to keep everything you built, but everybody's still kind of contributing overall. So it's
yeah,
pretty.
we're just scratching the surface of all this AI stuff. This is going to take off so quick. It already is. I mean, I think Chat GPT, they're getting ready to unleash 5.0, which is a more
Yeah.
of an agent type platform, and that's gonna really take it to the next level with respect to being able to have the thing go out, perform different um, tasks, check your email, and so forth. So yeah, a lot of people are going to be waiting on that.
So here's all the tools, and I'm building. I got 3 more I'll be building tomorrow. So it gets so I'll actually make a PDF of this for everybody. I got the ambassador program, which I just talked. I'll talk about it again a little bit. Eventually, we're going to train the trainer. I'm building that right now. So eventually, we get big. We get a couple. If we get a couple thousand people, like I said, we'll have revenue sharing, and then Josie and Paul and I will figure out, if we can what we can do on trainers and stuff. Once we get it, because I honestly say this thing gets up to 1,500, 2,500 users, this becomes like almost $1 million a year. Which I want to basically put a substantial amount of money. I was going to pay 33% profit revenue sharing, not profit, off the top to 150 associates. Now there's 177 associates, that includes the 3 of us, but 174 of you guys, and 150 right now are in that revenue because there's a lot of like companies like Life Changing has 5 people in the group in the associates group. So they're not like, and that was the choice they made. Their owners didn't want to have people in the revenue sharing program, things like that. And there's some spouses. We're only paying like one set of business partners or one set of husband and wife. So about 150 people. Eventually, I'd like to have, I'd like to be eventually kick $500,000 a month to everybody that's in the associates group. My first goal is to get everybody to $400 here, $1 over the $399 you spent to get in. Then you're in the black, and then it's cool. But that's what we're gonna do, and then we'll figure out what we put into the company. But so REI is my little reindeer guy. You probably saw me post him over the weekend. So he's your bat. You can, and I know it's like sucks to have to put periods in there, but you can also just ask Jack. Jack Ledger is the guy that I created back in April, and so REI is kind of like we're reindeer. And I call him the second most famous reindeer in the world after Rudolph. It wouldn't let me do anything that looked like Rudolph because it literally is protecting trademarks and stuff. But I also like to have it for the comedy, because people are going to spend a lot of time on it. So you guys can ask him. He'll come up and do all kinds of things for you to help you find things. So you get Jack Ledger, and then you get he's the executive troubleshooter, and then REI is your field deployed AI intelligence engine. So you got 2 of them, 2 systems. So you can ask and you can upload. Like I said, it's a system. It gets smarter with you. So it learns, it responds, it scales. And so I'm going to put this all together. I'm just going to put the prompt bar in the PDF. Visuals kind of suck sometimes. You guys, there's still a few glitches. You've got to be a little bit patient with visuals. Sometimes it'll what they call padding. Padding is like margin. Like it'll make the video you'll get to the end and it'll cut off like right last sentence, or you'll see, look carefully for some typos. If you do some stuff, there's a lot of information in it. Look for typos, and you can save it, and then put it through the Plus program, add it back to the Plus program, and then ask it to fix everything. There's a couple ways to do it. About once a day, I have to give up on a visual. Also, if it's slow, you can ask it, hey, ChatGPT, is there a you can ask it, is there a, are they doing upgrades at OpenAI? Because a lot of times there's a lot of usage. They're still growing as a company. I think they said they're putting in like $100 billion. That big conference they had at the White House back in April, they're announcing they're putting like $100 billion or something into these AI centers and stuff.
Yeah, this thing is going to be so huge.
And so, I know Philip, you're, this is what your probably second or third time you've been on. I think you've been around about a year and a half now, right? Or at least
Yeah,
a
it's
year.
been a while, but
Yeah.
yeah,
So what I tell people is
AI takes it to the whole different level, Nate. I mean, you really have. When you have AI on this, you're taking it to a whole different level. It's going to
yeah.
be AI is going to be so different even 6 months from now.
And
And
here's here's where the prompt comes up, and you can just copy and paste it right into the box, which is nice. So you can just go and just push copy, put it right in the box. What tools does RCIC have now? RCIC. I was just calling it. What's the role of REA and Jack Ledger? Here, I'll show you guys what their roles are.
because what I did yesterday, Nate, is I did an input on there based on my current strategy and working with grants and so forth. Is it laid out different capital stacks for me based on the loan or the address and whether it was in an opportunity zone, and it laid out all these capital stacks I would be able to use, and would actually go in and pitch a grant to me, a specific grant.
Yeah.
I could lay that out to a nonprofit or whomever it might be, but it allowed me to, kind of sell that product. Okay, this is what I have, and you can use this, this, and this opportunity zone credits, and maybe whatever the local city might have on their website is going to go out and search that. So however you need to use it, that's what I did with mine.
Yeah, so you guys on this difference of these two characters, like I said, they're kind of like my version of the Geico Gecko, and Flo and all them on, the insurance influencers. So I wanted to have a couple different, it's just because it kind of makes it a little fun. It kind of makes it, if you've been on for, if you're working, like I said, I know some people have said they're spending a lot of time on, they're going to spend a lot of time on it. So I modeled it after people like, oh, the reindeer is supposed to be kind of comic relief, a little bit like a clean version of Ted, the teddy bear, the Mark Wahlberg movie. But these are made up out of certain people. Like they're all made up, obviously, for the reindeer. It's basically Alf, Snoopy, Ernie from Sesame Street because he's always curious. You want something curious, and it's got the Count from Sesame Street because he's counting. It's all the money. It's deal analysis, and then you throw in Hank Hill. He's all in integrity and propane. That's what it actually said in that meme I made last night. But Jack Ledger, who's like, he's a badass and he's made up of real people. So the real people he's made up of is J.P. Morgan. I mean, when his bank's around 100 years after he died, that's a big thing, the biggest bank in the world. And then you got Dennis Leary, because I like him as a comic, and you want somebody who's like a no BS straight shooter. That's how Dennis Leary is as a comedian and actor. Then you throw in Mike Rowe, who doesn't like Mike Rowe, the everyday, the blue collar guy, the guy that's out there working all the, and then you throw in two other guys, and a lot of people don't know who they are because they were World War II guys and they weren't US, they were British. Was David Sterling, the founder of the SAS, and Patty Main was one of the founders. He was the third in command. He took over and commanded after one guy died, and then David got captured as a POW. But they're two of the SAS guys. And so, guys, the SAS was based on, Delta Force was started after SAS. It was modeled after them. So those are the 5 real people that Jack's made out of. So you guys kind of remember this, that it's pretty sweet. So like I said, you got who to use, REA or Jack. Here's the thing, PromptBar. You can ask that, and it'll tell you two voices if you just want. One runs the system, that's REI, the reindeer, and then one enforces the standard, and that's Jack. So if you need something like a little bit more serious, then you wanna call up Jack. These are like your AI assistants. They're gonna help you with everything. Let me do the prompt 3. Ask real quick because I'm going to get more into these tools. And I'm also doing some blog posts right now. I'm doing 10 blog posts for the next 2 weeks at Agents Gather. If anybody has Agents Gather, if you don't, then I can hook you up with Danny, who has it. He's one of my friends in my hometown. He's a realtor and will play Agents Gather. But I'll be putting those after they're published on Agents Gather. I'll be posting them in our groups as well. But I'm also doing 6 blogs this week on starting tomorrow on Facebook, and he's basically going to be start putting a lot of posts out there. We use Patreon, Substack, Facebook, Twitter, and all that. It'll make all your content, just like you guys have been seeing me post. You can hit all the different platforms. You can get a Medium account. It'll format things. It'll make your hashtags. It'll advise you how to make things, and it'll help you make all your content. So you can be out there putting a lot of stuff. It'll make all the tags for you. It'll do the description. It helps me with my YouTube. It gives me a description. It gives me the title. It'll make my tags. It'll make the thumbnail. Now the thumbnails, if you ever do YouTube, the thumbnail for YouTube has to be under 2 megabytes. So I always put it 1.99. Even then, sometimes it's a little big. There's a lot of stuff, so you can ask it to help you publish if you want to put a lot of stuff out there. You know, if you guys are putting deals out there, you can actually make a pretty sweet ad. I made one the other day. I think I think I made a couple for you like a couple months ago for Waco, or at least to show an example. I know I made one for
They're pretty sweet.
Yeah, you can get some pictures and you can put it, makes it really look good for like promoting it on social media. So here's like how they'll come back. So you can go give me an example of REI helping with RCI tools and Jack stepping up with his. And here you go, based on your property in Tarrant County, Texas, I've run the deal zone desirability score and buyer demand map. Your BuyBox matches 3 zip codes nearby. Want me to structure a flip versus rental offer next using the offer generator. So you guys just got to know, just basically pull up these 2. If you ever get stuck, just pull up one of these 2 assistants. The reindeer, he runs the system. Jack pretty much is like your big, if you need somebody who's more authoritarian or whatever to help with a deal or something. We also have a lot of negotiation strategy in here, and I'll be putting back the negotiation playbook. And for that, I use real people too. I use Chris Voss. You guys know Chris Voss is legendary FBI negotiator. And then also Gary Nesner, who's also a legendary FBI negotiator. Actually, he founded the FBI's negotiation strategy. And then there's a couple of the people, set politics aside. I added Eric Trump because, he's a real estate guy, Eric knows his stuff about real estate. So it took some of his trades from his books and his public speaking and stuff. Then you throw in a couple of, Steve Witkoff, who is a billionaire real estate investor, knows real estate, but he's also right now the special envoy. He's negotiating with Iran and, he's getting hostages. And Rick Grinnell, who's also an envoy. And he's was a U.S. ambassador and deputy national intelligence director. So those are about the 5 people. Then Chris Miller, who was acting Secretary of Defense, Colonel in Special Forces, and he was the ground force commander for Special Forces right after 9/11 in Afghanistan. So it's those 6 guys are real guys, and they make up our negotiations. So if you ask for the negotiation playbook, it'll come up with all their different strategies. They'll talk about how Chris Voss uses framing. So it basically is, and it uses NLP, Neural Linguistics Programming. So I've been putting all this stuff in for a while. Even before I started going this direction for RCIC, I was building a lot of stuff. You guys saw me back in April and May. Most of that's in here. If I went in here and I went into my, into my desk, all my files on my computer, you guys would see I probably built like 30 ebooks that are anywhere from 20 to 70 pages. I built over 50, like 5 to 10 page white papers. So you can come in here and you can ask for information on all this stuff. Pretty cool. I owe this, yes, on both. The only stuff I don't really do directly right now, because I've kind of learned that, if it asks you to do Canva, it tries, it really can't do it. Give it some time. There's some other things like you can make a Google document, but it won't make it for you Like it can't go into Google and actually make it for you, but it'll give you the outline, it'll give you the structure, it'll tell you how to go and do it. Then when you do it, you come back and you bring the link to it and it helps sort through it guides you the process. So like I was saying earlier, Philip, it'll probably do 90% of your work on anything you have to off ramp. And that's pretty much what I call it. It's just like on a freeway. You got to off ramp to a third party, a website or somewhere to,
Yeah.
the counties. Like, but
No,
it's going to do 90% of the work for
yeah.
you.
No, I definitely agree with that. And I'm not a big Canva. They don't impress me with Canva.
Yeah,
Sure
I've
they're
been using it for a
pretty,
while,
but
but
yeah, I just stay away from it. For all this stuff, I just use for, either strategic development or um, writing the business plan, or just kind of what you were saying, since you have that prompt, I would just add whatever I need to customize it to for a particular city or project or something like that.
yeah,
But
and after it does this visual, I'll ask about the counties too, because and the counties the counties will be there, 3,144. Now
exactly,
you'll
yeah,
have to off ramp to the county directly, most of them, and some are sophisticated and some are not. You go to counties where I am at, Jefferson County, Colorado, Denver, Douglas County, all in Colorado, you're gonna pull up. You can get their GIS, their mapping, and even their fire district maps. You can put in. You can get the plats, you can get the zoning, you can get the permits that have been filed on the property. You got off ramp, and you may have to actually set up an account on some of them. So that's the
yeah.
beauty of it. So there is some of that, but like I said, it'll go to those counties. It'll go to Smith County and Tyler, Texas, and I pulled up one
And
because
that's okay, because you may just have to go to the actual website, and you know usually these cities or counties, they're going to have the PDF that gives all their information, and you just upload it into your GPT or whatever your prompt is, and
you can
you
also do
give
the
it your
whole
prompt.
copy and paste, click and
Yeah,
copy and paste it right into the
that's
here.
true. Yeah,
And
that's
you can
true.
do a lot of stuff and you can get the direct stuff. This is going to be a minute. Visuals have been slow today. So I'll kind of wait. We'll kind of talk through some things, some of the other glitches.
No, I
They
think it's
know,
wonderful.
they know some glitches, so they're working on them. So
Okay.
one of the things that they tell you is obviously Sora visuals can sometimes you got to just kind of while you're watching the visual come up right now, it could come out really awesome, and sometimes it sucks if I get a really awesome visual and there'll be one typo, and I try to and I can't. It doesn't remake the visual the exact way that I liked it. So, like I said, sometimes I'm kind of 50. I'm really happy with visuals, but you know, like I did the Blues Brothers ones, like it told me it couldn't do the actual guys because it can't do likeness of John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd for obvious reasons. But it made that video made it look like them, in the mall scene and that scene where they're doing the 140 miles to Chicago bit. It actually made it look like that. Now here's where Jack doesn't have his goatee, so I'm okay with that because he still looks like he still looks like a pretty, authoritarian, very successful real estate investor. Of course, he's got his armor body, but I've never seen that one yet. So we called him the master strategist. And then you got automation hero. And I say, I'll keep this, even though it's a little off. This is the padding I was talking about, where it just kind of goes off to the next. I'm not going to post this anywhere, but I'll save it so I can come back, put it in, try to get it to regenerate. Like I said, it's a humanized reindeer, because we were calling it, calling the reindeer organization, which is cool. Real estate investing network, investors network and disposition, education, empowerment, and resources. And I was coming up with something to be like a little cooler than the Gators, because I think the Gators is kind of why did I choose that name? It's kind of a little I don't know.
What are they doing?
The Gators. Yeah,
What
no,
are
it's
they
why do you
doing?
name it the Gators? It's like really kind of
Oh, okay.
aggressive. So I wanted something friendly in it. Also, in a reindeer, the letters in reindeer spell out exactly what we do and what we are.
Yeah.
And nobody laughed. And when I explain it, everybody goes, "I get it." I wanted something like the Geico Gecko or the Lima Umo. You know, I made a cartoon before of Jack and REI. I always gonna call him Ray or whatever. I'm trying to come up with a name for him, but yeah, because it's very much on like it won't let you do something. This looks like like Jack right now looks like a cross between Tom Selleck and Mel Gibson.
I can see that.
Yeah. So there's a lot of other stuff. Oh yeah. Show us the RCI education. system. There you go. I started working on this. So people can come and learn about it. They can get you can ask for this as well. Live session, there'll be a lot of playbooks. There already are some. But imagine being able to go in and get all the training kits. You can get all the quick guides. There's a lot of stuff. I'm making guides, all the input guides. And this some of what I'm doing all day. As we're making, we've also got compliance education. So we've got a wholesaling law tracker state by state. Oklahoma has SB Senate Bill 1075 takes effect November 1st. I've already got all the system in there. So if somebody asks for an Oklahoma compliant purchase and sale agreement and an A to B contract and a B to C contract, it'll actually generate this. This is going to go to all 50, just like the 3,144 counties. It can go to all 50 states real estate commissions or Colorado's Department of Regulatory Affairs, things like that. So you can go and pull up a lot of stuff. It'll actually guide you through all your cold calls and your all your laws, your do not call lists and all that. It'll help you with all your marketing. You can make all your email messages. You can do all of your, like I said, all of your social media, things like that. It's pretty sweet. Things you want to do, things you want to know about. So Facebook, you can do any size. It's pretty cool. But on Instagram, you got to have a smaller visual. You got to ask for an Instagram, and it knows IG. If you put IG and X, it knows Instagram and Twitter. So you got to be an IG. You got to have a smaller visual. X, you got to be under 280 characters. So you got to remind that. It's just something I still have to remind it all the time. When I'm doing, I just go X and I go visual and I just say be compliant. It's just like on YouTube. You got to have your visual, your thumbnail has to be under 2.0 megabytes. If any of you are on Agents Gather or get on Agents Gather, which Danny does charge for now, it has to be under 1.0 megabytes and all that stuff. So it's kind of cool. But this has a lot of tools, so you guys can just keep asking. The more stuff you ask, it's like I said, I got almost shit. By the end of this month, I'll have 600 hours into this. A lot of time. I mean, I actually have an eye appointment in August because I got to see the optometrist.
You're an expert now.
Dude, I know this, and I'm still like, there's stuff I'm just getting better and better at it. So it doesn't train you to use the tools; it builds the mindset, muscle, and mastery. So I'm going to go ahead and do PromptBar on this, and basically it's adding it. So there's prompts, there's new prompts. Some things I'm not doing the visuals because you guys see why. I just don't want to take up a lot of time doing visuals tonight.
So when you say PromptBar
is this right here where it says ask anything. So it's making the prompts that would go in the PromptBar.
So so instead of just typing in there, you're saying PromptBar. What does that actually?
Well, that means that it's making the prompt. So let me see
You
where
want to
there's
do
a
that
prompt.
just by typing it in?
Well, you can do that. You can ask for specific prompts, different things. If you don't remember what the prompt is, there's a lot of prompts in here, believe it or not. I mean, there's a ton. So a lot of times you can ask for the prompt. You can ask for the prompt for an asset class. Can I have all the prompts for? You can ask for specific areas, too, geographic. Can I have the prompt for Dallas, Texas?
Okay, so when you say
prompt is here.
PromptBar, you're pulling up what you have in your customized GPT.
Yeah, I'm pulling up everything that it's saving all the prompts. So it's saving these prompts, like I said.
I see. Okay.
Okay.
So you're basically telling the computer to save this particular prompt in your vault or what have you.
Yeah.
And the only reason why I ask it is because I'm just used to typing in where it says ask anything, and I'll just give it my prompt.
Well, no, and so because in some cases, like I showed you earlier, it'll have the prompt. It'll open the box and it'll say copy or save, and you can just click on the copy, and then you can go and just paste it right into this bar.
Okay.
It's cool. Like here's like category, the prompt packs. So they're called prompt packs. So like you can ask for the deal analysis and offering prompt pack. So here it goes.
So when you type in PromptBar, it's going to give you a list of.
Well, you can ask for specific things. You can ask for all the prompts. You get a ton, but if you're looking at specific things, like right now, if you're looking for discipline exit strategy, like of this list, you could actually just go, you could go copy and paste this and put in here, or you could even just tell it 17, and go to 17 and put 17 in there. Either or. There's also times when it'll come up with that bar. It kind of comes up with that box and has the copy and paste.
So do me a favor, Nate, so I can understand this. When you start, just start typing in PromptBar like you
Okay.
did.
Yeah.
Okay. And all right, so now stop there. Okay, so now PromptBar deploy. So when you say PromptBar, it's just going to give you a
Yeah, I'll try to take these slowly so we can read through
a
these.
pre-done list of what's in there. Is that what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right then.
But it's also flexible enough if you just put one in generic. If
Yeah.
it's wrong, if it's like totally wrong, it'll actually tell you, here's the prompt. Use this and you can copy and paste it or you can click,
Okay.
click
All
on
right
it.
then.
It's very flexible on that way. Or you can ask for the prompts specifically, like I have a deal, here are the 12 inputs. This is for deal analysis and offer. If you want to run the overnight deal engine, I have a deal, here are the 12 inputs, run it through the overnight deal engine. So you
Okay.
can ask for the 12 inputs. And like I said, sometimes it'll miss one or two. Maybe it'll be like, because you're putting a lot of residential deal. So if you're doing a lot of residential deal and then you come back and maybe you got a multifamily, you got another asset class, you may
Yeah.
have to change some of the prompts. Like you may have to correct it and go, this is a multifamily deal, and take out a few things that might be residential related and put in some that may be like storage or assisted living, things like
Okay.
that. So you may have to make some, like I said, almost everything is 90% done for you.
Okay. Got you.
So here's like structure a 3-option offer. And I'll show you guys what a 3-option offer is. Jesse knows because he's been around for 6 years. Jesse's actually got the longest time in the whole system. Of everybody, of anybody. So you can get into lender match. Two things real quick. Show the 3-option offer and explain lender match. Like I said, don't be afraid just to type anything what you're looking for if you don't know the prompts, and you can ask. You can have the prompts for deal analysis. You can have the prompts for lending matching. So lender matching. So 3-option offer. You never give one option. You have three. See, this one you can actually do the form. You can actually ask for the form. Basically, it'll put up like a screen, and you can just go fill the blanks, put in your information, the seller, whoever you're making the offer to. But it'll come up and it'll generate a 3 offers based on your deal's numbers, exit strategy, and seller scenario. You're happy with all 3 offers. You're giving them a little bit. It's overwhelming to them. They have to decide if they want all cash on a fix and flip using these terms right here, or it could come up. Then it also on the same offer, something you guys probably aren't used to. There's a buy and hold, a rental offer. This may be like now you're offering something else if you want to do like a buy and hold, and you don't have to send this to the seller either. You can actually just keep this internally, or if you got clients and show them, hey, I got like 3 different options. Here's a creative finance. So having 3 different ways to go on a deal, you can send this to the seller, or like I said, keep it internally. You can ask for the 3 offer. And so, like I said, if you want to study up more on that, you can, put that prompt in it. So it'll explain it. It'll pull up the form. And the lending matching. So you submit the deal to the overnight deal engine, you get offer generator, or you can do it manually. You can analyze the key funding inputs, your exit strategy, your ARV, all that stuff. Cross references all the lenders, the 901 lenders. Sort by it, and it goes through market. And as we add, Willie's going to add some lenders. Everybody adds some lenders as lenders join. Like we want to encourage lenders to come in and join, and they get the same, the same rate and all that stuff. As they come in, they get embedded, like we were talking about earlier. It'll go through all this market coverage. So if they're in Texas and they fund a deal in Waco and Kenny's looking for funding, he can put in, hey, who can do this deal in Waco, Texas, with the zip code and the county. Make sure I know there's like one county there, but you can put in the county and it'll pop up. Maybe you can ask what 5 lenders can do this deal. It'll give you all their contact information and information on all of them, what they do. And that way you can contact them. Again, 90% of the work is done. You can have it generate all the emails, the texts, whatever you need to do, to send them. It can write letters to them. It can break down the deal. It can put all the terms on a letter or on an email. So like I said, it'll do 90% of your work. You got 5 lenders, it'll generate 5 emails. It'll generate 5. Then you just got to copy them, save them to your folders, you might want to look in, obviously Airtable's free for, nobody, like I said earlier, nobody's ever going to need the paid version, I think, of Airtable. And I'm building mine this week. I've got like a whole bunch of stuff that it's saved for me so I can just import it. I haven't opened it, but I haven't built it yet just because I'm spending so much time here that I actually need to just sit down and do it for like 2 hours. But you can also use Dropbox, and you guys can do Dropbox and use the personal one. I didn't need to use the paid version until I had over 150 folders that I had opened for this.
Yeah, after a while, they want you to start paying up.
$11 a month. It's not bad.
Yeah.
$11.99 a month.
Hey,
But
Nate,
that
I'm
way,
gonna have to take off, man. But I appreciate you. This has been wonderful. And
yeah, dude, I appreciate it.
yeah, Kenny, it was good meeting you. And we'll talk to you guys later.
Yeah.
All
But
right.
I'll connect you guys because I know you probably can help Kenny with some of his
Yeah,
deals.
yeah, that would be great, man. I
All
appreciate
right.
Yeah.
All right. Take care, guys.
Yep.
it.
Cool. All right. So Kenny, if you guys anybody, it's just you and
I'm
me.
I think it's you and I. I need is there a way that you can set up a prompt for me to run? So if I want to run CMAs, right, for rental, is
Yeah.
there a way that you can set me up a prompt for rental and set me up a prompt for um purchase, like comps?
Um,
Is there a way to
for
do that?
purchase, I'm doing it right now.
Okay.
And rentals.
Because I tried doing it and I couldn't get it.
Do you need a specific area?
Yes.
Okay.
76712.
Okay, give me that one more time. 7-1.
76712. And I need it to be for rent. I need it to be 2100 and above for a 3-2. Yeah, be for a 3-2, 2100 and above. Does that make sense? Is that too specific?
Yeah, above for rent.
Yeah,
And
3-2.
then 3-2.
Yeah.
Beds and baths. I'm training it. It probably knows that. And then you got your purchasing.
Yeah, want to do one for purchasing. Now, will it let us change the amounts for purchasing? So in other words, can we do like, 200,000 and one for 300,000? Does it allow us to change it?
I'm putting that in right now to be inputted based on this specific deal. There you go. 76712 Waco, Texas. Rental properties purchases 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, minimum 2,100 a month rent targets, and then a flexible purchase input per deal. And then here's your, and I can make this the PDF so you get it.
Yeah.
Also
How does it create a CMA? I mean,
and
does
then
it create?
yeah, and then
So
you
does
can
it create it where it's like a CMA where I PDF it?
yeah. Give me 1 second. I'll answer these questions real quick. PDF and okay, I'll send it over to you. And embed into Kenny PromptBar access. And then, okay, I'll also generate CMA for users. No, it has to analyze that first, and then I'll type it again. But yeah, it should build them, but I'll send you over a PDF of that. So you've got those prompts it just made. So if you have to do it manually, you'll have
So
that.
do I have to, so if it doesn't pull, because I wanted to pull, off of, it doesn't necessarily have to be on MLS. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm fine with it pulling off market. But
yeah,
like, for example, that house that we were, I was trying to get Cranbrook. So he's
yeah,
trying to DSCR it and got a DSCR person to do it. But he has to show 3 properties of 2100 and above in that area for
yeah.
rental. So that's I had the realtor try to do it, and she just kept pushing me off and pushing me off and pushing me off. And then I saw that RCIC could do it, and I was like, well, just do it myself and not even deal with her.
Yeah. So here's the prompts. I just made some for him.
Because I hate well, we're not recording, are we?
Give me 1 second. I can take it off. I can take the recording off. Let me finish packaging this for you real quick. And then, yeah, because I think I have to. Let me see if I can go up and do. Well, I know what you're getting at. I mean, let me try because I think I'd have to get out of this to go and
Yeah,
turn the
no,
recording on.
Yeah, no, you're fine. You just keep going.
Yeah, so here we got a prompt. So we got the CMA generator. I just built that just now.
Really? Oh,
So get that over to you, but it should actually be in there.
so
But
will it do?
I'll
So
send
will
you
it
this
do
PDF.
for?
No, I'll send you the PDF. So in case it didn't, you can just
Will it do
go.
it for rent and for
Yeah,
sale?
yeah. So prompts included
Okay.
CMA by property address, sold comps plus rent estimates.
And if I
CMA
have
by
to change, and if I have to change the parameters, how hard is it to do that?
it shouldn't be that hard, but like I said, if you have a problem, just let me know and I can try to do it myself.
So where does that show up at? Will that show up in my prompt assistant, or will that show up in prompts that are already saved that I can move over?
We'll try the prompt assistant, ask REI to, you make sure you get I know it sucks to put the periods in his name, but that's how it got set up, or ask him to assist you with the CMAs that Nate generated for you. And then
Okay.
then I'll give you those PDFs, so at least you can put them in manually if you have to.
Okay.
Just because like I said, in some of these things, you got to do it a couple of times for it to have memory.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
Like
I
I,
get that.
was telling Philip, because Philip's only been on he's been in the group almost 2 years, and he's only been on one Zoom. I talk to him all the time. He's just a lot of people sometimes are just busy all the time. They don't want to. They're on other Zooms. They don't want to be on all the time. Shit. I haven't heard from Doris since almost just after Memorial Day. Like her and a couple other people. So I don't know. Here's our CMAs, and then we'll do a walkthrough real quick on
Okay.
that. Yeah, let me see. PromptBar. I'll do a walkthrough video, PDF, and video walkthrough. So and it's in the prompt bar. So you can ask for the CMA builder on the prompt bar. You can ask for now CMA, then it should come up. Like I said, if it doesn't, you'll have the PDFs for manual, and then of course you can hit me back up. I'll be doing another session on Wednesday, another one on Thursdays, and then after next Wednesday we'll be back to just we'll be doing them again on Mondays and Wednesdays, but I mean back to the Thursday schedule.
I'm just trying to, I guess my thought is that, I'd like to be able to get the prompts and then, be able to, once I'm done with that, be able to move into doing other properties and being able to, upload the pictures, kind of let it generate more of the rental budgets and stuff, kind
Yeah.
of give it parameters. That would be advantageous. That would make my life a little easier.
Cool. All right. Well, we'll be processing the Zoom, and we'll need the YouTube package for this, and then the Facebook package. This is kind of what I'm telling it. We're winding down. Well, actually, it'll actually generate it all for me.
Very cool. Very cool.
So we went over an hour though. It'll actually take about 20 minutes or so for it to process the video, the Zoom, and then I gotta go to YouTube, but it'll have all my stuff here.
Sweet.
Cool.
So on the left where it has RCIC prompt assistant and RCIC prompt assistant, so it has yours, right? So you have two because you have one training one. So mine shows just the one.
Yeah, you have the red one.
Yeah. Am I able to add more?
Yeah.
to that stack. So in other words, when we do
Keep
the
in mind though, if you're on this, it's not
yeah,
gonna like protect it. So everybody's, but it's everybody sent it to like, right now there's only 7 people besides myself,
yeah,
and they're all in the associates group. So
okay,
you know them all. Eventually, with hundreds of thousands, that's when you probably want to start looking at the business. If you're building stuff that you don't want, you
yeah.
know, then you can protect it. But some people might now see what happens with all the deals too. You put in the deals, but it won't have a lot of specifics, but it'll have all the numbers, and it'll
Yeah.
keep all the deal numbers, and that's what makes it smarter. Because obviously, it's not a rinse and repeat, and it's repetition. That helps it
So
make
how would Airtable help me compared to Dropbox?
Airtable's automated, and it's a little bit more. You can actually with Dropbox here, sometimes like now it'll actually drop in, but I have to build the folder. So I have to go
Okay.
build the folder, which can be a little bit of there's some back and forth I have to do on the system. And sometimes I have an issue with zip tiles, and that's just
Mhm.
a thing. So I have to ask it to separate the files for the zip so I can download them that way.
So if I'm sending them, so say for example, I have to send this CMA for the rentals, right?
Yeah.
And so I want to print it as a PDF. And so, when you email the files get too large, right? So you have to zip, and then some people don't like, some of the lenders don't like unzipping them because they're like, we don't know what's in the file, da da da, da all that crap.
Yeah.
So is there a way to send them a link from Airtable?